One of the entrepreneurs that I worked with recently made a comment about the resemblance between the concept of the strategic narrative, at least how I approach strategic narrative, and the concept of Ikigai. It's a Japanese concept, a very old concept that I didn't know about before he brought it up. And the concept of Ikigai is literally means I'm pulling the page as I'm talking to you right now, a reason to leave. And if you look up Ikigai, Ikigai, you will see four circles that intersect at the center, and that's where Ikigai is. And those four circles represent what you love, what you can be paid for, what the world needs, and what you're good at. And this entrepreneur was saying, hey, really the way you approach strategic narrative is surprisingly related. And I had no idea about this. When you had me work on my opportunity story, it's really about what the world needs. It's really what your company brings to the world, the mission and the impact he wants to have for what the community out there is in need of. And when you had me work on my product story, it's really what we can be paid for, what we're delivering to our client, our customers in exchange for money. So that was kind of his connection there. And what you love is really how you do the work. What passion do you put in the work? What are your convictions in the work? How do you approach it? What are your principles to do this work? And what you're good at comes from who you are, almost innately, also what you've acquired as skills, but who you are personally, individually, but also as a company comes from your origin, how it was started, but how it continued to grow. What are the roots and what are the ramifications to its existence? So it's a striking relationship between those two concepts. And the thing that I started thinking about is that although most people think of a strategic narrative as first of all, most people will think of a strategic narrative as a story. They think it's the same. It's not. And I've talked about this many times. You can have other videos on this topic that I can link to or point you to. There's an important contrast here. And now that I see this resemblance, it puts a word that I didn't realize until now, which is a strategic narrative is a state. It's many things. You can document it. It can be written. You can have it in your hands. It can be just like an Ikigai. You can do the circles and you can write it. But that's just only a fraction of what you need to do, because once you've written your strategic narrative, okay, it's on paper, it's there, maybe it's a presentation, and you still have to act on it. You still have to integrate and live it, right? And once you do this, what happens is that you get to a better state. And I keep thinking that a strategic narrative is really the state of balance, of equilibrium, where your company seems to run much more smoothly. It differentiates more easily on the market. People want to work for it, so it's easier to hire people. Your customers understand why they will get value out of what you have to offer. And your whole community sees that you're after making an impact, making a difference. So there's that state of your organization, your company, that is in such balance that it just feels smoother. It makes more sense. It's more meaningful, and it just it's just way better for everybody who contributes to it. So when you approach this work, when you want to build a strategic narrative, you have to think that okay, there'll be a definition phase where we're going to write things down, we're going to document, we're going to think about the reasons why this company exists. Then there will be an integration phase and an activation phase. And at some point, hopefully quickly, we're going to hit that stage of higher efficiency within the organization and outside too. It's not just not just a statement. It's not just one presentation deck that you put together. It's the constant work. It's a daily process of paying attention to how your company operates and functions. But once you have it practiced, once you have it established, it just becomes effortless. It's just something that you operate, that you maintain, that you will run almost as second nature, because you will have established the habits that are described in your narrative. It's going to be easier to decide whether you should go this side of the market, that side of, launch this product or not. It's just going to make more sense and be more clear. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Think about strategic narrative, not as a product, but more as a process to reach a higher state for your business and your company.